Have you ever wondered what truly keeps people awake at night after they turn 80? Most assume it's the thought of death, but sit down with someone in their 80s and you'll hear something very different. The greatest fears often aren't loud or dramatic. They creep in quietly, touching freedom, dignity, and a sense of belonging long before the final chapter arrives. Death, in many cases, isn't what people dread the most. What weighs heavier are the changes that come before it. Subtle but powerful shifts that shape how they live every single day. These fears might not always be spoken out loud, but they're real. They influence choices, relationships, and even the way someone sees themselves in the world. In this video, we're going to uncover the 7 biggest fears that older adults face after 80. Fears that go far beyond medical charts and routine checklists. From the loss of independence to the quiet worry of being forgotten, each one reflects something far deeper than physical survival. These aren't just fears, they're signals, warning that something essential is at risk long before life's end. Stay with me until the end, because we won't just list these fears. We'll explore what they mean, why they appear, and most importantly, what you can do to loosen their hold on your life. Some of them may sound familiar, others might surprise you, but all of them hold truths we rarely talk about. If you're over 60 or you love someone who is, this video will offer insight, comfort, and a fresh perspective on the years ahead. Number 1. Loss of independence. One of the deepest and most common fears that quietly grows after 80 is losing the ability to live on your own terms. It's the worry that you might no longer be able to dress yourself, manage your medications, or handle daily needs without help. This fear isn't just about the tasks themselves. It's about what they represent. The freedom to decide how you live each day, without relying entirely on someone else. It's not only about needing assistance, it's about what that assistance represents. For many older adults, it feels like the final crack in the foundation of who they once were. After a lifetime of caring for yourself, supporting others, raising a family, or perhaps running a business, it can be hard to picture a day when you need someone else to help you brush your teeth or tie your shoes. Even when those moments arrive gradually, a small slip here, a missed task there, they carry a surprising emotional weight. You may never say it out loud, but the question still lingers quietly in the back of your mind. Am I still me if I can't do what I used to do? I once knew Walter, 84, who took great pride in his independence. Even when his knees began to fail him, he insisted on handling everything himself. But one morning, while trying to shower, he slipped and had to call his son for help. It wasn't just the fall that shook him. It was the vulnerability. I used to carry lumber and build porches, he told me, and now I'm calling someone to help me off the bathroom floor. That shift, from doing to being helped, can feel like a direct challenge to your dignity. But here's the truth. Independence doesn't vanish the moment you need help. It changes shape. It becomes about making your own choices, expressing your preferences, and keeping your voice in how you live, even when your body requires support. True independence is more than physical capability. It's mental and emotional strength. It's being able to say, yes, I need help, but I still decide how I live. And that is where the real key lies. Preparing before a crisis happens. It's about setting up support systems before you're desperate for them, and embracing practical tools like grab bars, walkers, or even pre-cut vegetables. These aren't signs of weakness. They're bridges that keep you actively engaged in life. Every adjustment you make is a way of saying, I'm still here, I'm still living life on my terms. Losing certain abilities does not mean losing who you are. If you can begin to redefine independence, not as doing everything entirely on your own, but as having the freedom to shape your life, you'll find more peace, more control, and far less fear as the years go on. Number 2. Cognitive decline. There's a very specific kind of fear that creeps in when you forget the name of someone you've known for years, or when you walk into a room and suddenly can't remember why you went there. After 80, these lapses can feel different. No longer just small, frustrating moments, but hints of something more serious. That's when deeper questions begin to surface. Am I losing myself? Is this the start of something I can't stop? For many older adults, the fear of cognitive decline runs even deeper than the fear of physical illness. A broken hip can be repaired. A heart condition can be treated or managed. But losing your mind, your words, your memories, your ability to follow a conversation, feels like losing the very center of who you are. I once spoke with Carol, 82, a woman who had always been sharp, quick-witted, and well-read. She began to notice small but unsettling changes, forgetting important dates, telling the same story twice, misplacing items she'd used every day for years. Her deepest fear wasn't embarrassment, it was becoming someone her children no longer recognized. "I don't want to be in the room but not really there," she told me. "I don't want them to look into my eyes and see no one home." That fear is not irrational, it's profoundly human. Our memories are more than a collection of thoughts. They are our personal story, the record of our life. When that story starts to unravel, even in small ways, it can feel as though life itself is slipping from your grasp. But here's something vital to remember. Cognitive decline is not always inevitable. The brain is adaptable. It can form new connections, strengthen existing ones, and remain active when given the right conditions. Regular physical movement, meaningful social connection, quality sleep, proper hydration, and learning new skills can all help protect your mind and keep it responsive. And beyond prevention, there's a deeper truth. Your worth is not tied solely to your mental sharpness. Even if memory fades, your presence still matters. Your spirit can still touch the people around you. Your smile, your warmth, your very being still speak in ways that no forgotten name can erase. The people who truly love you will never stop loving you because of what you forget. They will continue to find you in other ways, through your voice, your warmth, and the history you've built together. So if this fear has been circling your thoughts, don't ignore it, but also don't give it the power to define your days. Take steps to care for your mind. Stay curious, keep learning, remain socially connected, and always remember, you are far more than your memory. If you're still watching this video and these insights are resonating with you, please comment number 2 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your support helps us keep creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Number 3. Outliving your money. Even people who have worked hard, saved carefully, and planned thoughtfully for retirement often carry a quiet, persistent fear. After 80, what if I run out? The thought of outliving your money, of watching your savings shrink faster than you expected, can stir up deep anxiety. It's not only about paying the bills, it's about protecting your dignity, maintaining your choices, and keeping the ability to care for yourself without depending entirely on others. This fear isn't always rooted in the idea of poverty. More often, it's about uncertainty, the unknown number of years ahead, rising healthcare costs, sudden emergencies, and the reality that people are living longer than ever. These factors can make even a solid financial foundation feel unstable. For those who grew up in times when thrift and responsibility were essential for survival, the possibility of not having enough isn't just uncomfortable, it can feel like personal failure. I once knew George, 85, who had saved diligently his entire life. He owned his home, had no debt, and lived modestly. Yet every time he opened his checkbook, a familiar worry crept in. "I just don't know how long I'll be around," he said. "And I don't want to be a burden to my kids." George wasn't spending extravagantly. In fact, he often denied himself simple comforts because of that lingering fear. This kind of anxiety can quietly steal joy. It can make someone hesitate to turn on the heat in the winter, say no to dinner invitations with friends, or avoid spending even a little on something that might make life easier or more enjoyable. It can shrink your world, not because you're truly broke, but because you're afraid you might be. So what can help? First and foremost, information. Understanding exactly what you have, what you spend, and how long it's likely to last can replace vague fear with concrete facts. Knowing exactly what you have, understanding your real expenses, and learning how to structure your resources can give you back a sense of control. The second step is conversation. Talking openly with a financial advisor, a trusted family member, or even reaching out to a local senior support center can ease the weight you've been carrying. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to stop holding the worry entirely on your own. And finally, give yourself permission to truly enjoy what you have. You've worked hard for it. You've planned carefully. You've been responsible and cautious. Now is not the time to live with constant fear. Now is the time to spend with wisdom, not with anxiety. A good life is not built on hoarding every penny. It's built on using your resources to care for yourself, create connection, and maintain the freedom to live with dignity. Number 4. Being forgotten or left behind. There's a form of loneliness that cuts deeper than simply being alone. It's the fear of being forgotten. For many older adults, especially after 80, this fear isn't just about getting fewer phone calls or visits. It's about the quiet ache of feeling invisible, as if the world is moving forward without you, as if you've become just a name in a phone book that no one looks up anymore. Even those with loving families can experience this. Children grow busier with their own lives. Grandchildren grow up and become independent. Friends pass away or move into care homes. The social web that once held your days together begins to thin, and the silence that follows can be louder than any crowd. I remember Di, 86, who told me, "I don't mind being alone. What I mind is feeling like no one would notice if I disappeared." She wasn't being dramatic. She had a family who cared, but she admitted that the hardest part of aging wasn't her aching knees or her thinning hair. It was feeling like she no longer mattered in anyone's daily life. No one asked her opinion anymore. No one needed her help. She had gone from being at the center of activity to standing at the edges of the picture. This fear is powerful because it's tied to purpose. Every human being wants to feel needed, and when that sense of purpose begins to fade, it can lead to sadness, depression, and a slow retreat from life, not because of poor health, but because of a loss of meaning. But the truth is, you are not invisible, and there are still ways to reconnect. Start small. Reach out to someone with a note, a shared memory, or a genuine compliment. Offer a listening ear. Tell your story because somewhere, someone needs to hear it, even if they don't yet realize it. Presence creates presence. The more you show up, emotionally, socially, and even spiritually, the more others will begin to notice you again. And if the people around you aren't making space for you, then it's time to create new space. Join a discussion group. Talk to a neighbor. Volunteer in your community. You are never too old to matter. In fact, your wisdom is more needed now than ever before. The world doesn't forget you on purpose. It's just moving quickly. Sometimes it simply needs a gentle tap on the shoulder to remind it you're still here. If you're still watching this video and these insights are speaking to you, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future video. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content to inform and inspire you. Number 5. Losing a spouse or close companion. After 80, one of the most profound fears people carry often isn't about their own death. It's about losing the one person who's been by their side through everything. A spouse, a lifelong friend. This fear is not only about grief. It's about the loss of the rhythm of life you've known for decades. It's the routines, the quiet conversations, and the shared memories that no one else on earth can quite understand in the same way. When someone close to you passes, it's not just their absence you feel. It's a shift in your very identity. You go from we to me, from our home to my place, from making 2 cups of coffee in the morning to realizing you only need 1. That change is disorienting, even if you saw it coming. And for many, the fear of that day arriving is something they carry silently, dreading the moment when the house feels too quiet. the days too long, and the calendar too empty. I once knew Bill, 87, who had been married for over 60 years. He told me, "I'm not afraid of dying, I just don't want to be the one left behind." When his wife passed away unexpectedly, he described it as if a limb had been removed. Not only a deep pain, but a profound imbalance. He found himself struggling with the most basic parts of life: cooking meals, sleeping through the night, even speaking without expecting to hear her voice, answering back in his mind. "She was my memory," he told me. "She knew things about me that I don't even remember anymore." That kind of loss isn't something you simply get over. The fear of such a loss can cast a long shadow over everyday life, but what truly matters is how we prepare. Not by living in dread, but by living with presence. That means cherishing the time we still have, having open and honest conversations, sharing passwords, recipes, memories, and stories while both people are still here to give them. For those who have already faced this loss, the fear often transforms into a deep longing. How do I keep going alone? There's no simple answer, but it often begins with connection, finding new ways to express love, to feel needed, and to continue your own story with grace. No one will ever replace what was lost, but new chapters can still hold warmth, meaning, and even unexpected joy. Grief, in many ways, is love with nowhere to go. But your life still matters, your heart still beats, and the people around you, whether old friends, new acquaintances, or even strangers, may still need your presence far more than you realize. Number 6, chronic physical pain or illness. As we grow older, we come to expect a few aches and pains, but after 80, many people carry a deeper fear, not of pain itself, but of being trapped in it day after day, with no end in sight. The thought of spending your final years in constant discomfort can be, for some, more frightening than death. Why? Because it means living with suffering that feels inescapable. It's often not the sharp, sudden pains that scare people the most, but the dull, dragging aches that follow them everywhere, wearing them down over time. Chronic pain has a way of eroding not just the body, but the spirit. It can rob you of restful sleep, diminish your appetite, drain your energy, and slowly darken your mood. It can shorten your patience and strip away the desire to connect with others. Perhaps most frustrating of all, chronic pain can be invisible. You may look perfectly fine on the outside, while carrying an unbearable weight inside. I think of Harriet, 84, who lived with constant back pain caused by degenerative disc disease. "It's not the pain itself," she told me. "It's waking up every morning knowing it's still there, like an unwanted guest I can't get rid of." She wasn't looking for sympathy, just relief, just a break, something, anything, to make the days feel a little lighter. What makes this fear so difficult is the idea that nothing will help, that people will shrug and say, "Well, that's just aging," and leave you to suffer in silence. But it doesn't have to be that way. Pain management has come a long way. There are options, from physical therapy and gentle movement to meditation, dietary changes, and even newer forms of medication and non-drug treatments that can ease the burden. The key is to speak up. Be willing to advocate for yourself, even if it takes several tries to find someone who truly listens and takes your concerns seriously. Equally important as treating the pain is addressing the isolation it often creates. Chronic illness can push people into smaller and smaller corners of life. The less you move, the less you engage with others, and before long, the pain becomes the center of everything, leaving little room for joy. That's why reaching out, even when it feels difficult, matters so much. Connection doesn't erase pain, but it puts it into perspective. It reminds you that there is still beauty, still laughter, still something worth waking up for. You are more than your diagnosis. Pain may be part of your life, but it does not have to define it. There is still life within you, and there are people who care enough to help you make the most of it. If you're still watching this video and these insights are helping you, please comment number 6 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future videos. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content to inform and inspire you. Number 7. Being forced into a care facility. For many people in their 80s and beyond, there is one fear that looms larger than almost any other: the fear of being placed in a care facility against their will. It's not that assisted living or nursing homes are always bad places. In fact, some provide excellent care. The fear comes from what the move often represents: a loss of autonomy, privacy, and the familiar comforts of home. It's not just about the location, it's about the decision itself, and about someone else making that choice for you. The thought of another person deciding when you leave your home, what room you'll sleep in, what time you'll eat, and how your days will unfold can feel like your life is no longer your own. It's about the feeling of being managed instead of being consulted. And for those who have spent their lives making their own choices, that loss can feel like a kind of death all its own. I once knew Harold, 86, who told me, "I'm not afraid of dying in my house. I'm afraid of being told I can't live in it anymore." He wasn't being stubborn. He simply understood what that home meant to him. It was filled with memories of his late wife, photographs of his grandchildren, and even the old coffee pot that still brewed just the way he liked. The thought of leaving all of that behind, not by choice, but by someone else's decision, was enough to keep him awake at night. This fear often boils down to a simple question: will anyone listen to what I want? Many older adults worry their voices will be overruled by doctors, adult children, or well-meaning caregivers who believe they know best. And while safety and care are absolutely important, so is respect. So is having a real say in the decisions that affect your life. That's why it's so important to talk about your preferences early, long before a crisis arises. Put your wishes in writing. Share them openly with your family. Let them know not just what you want, but why you want it. If staying at home matters to you more than anything else, explain that clearly. If you're open to certain changes, but want to be part of the timing and process, make that known too. And for families, listen, truly listen. The goal should never be to control your loved one's life. It should be to support it. That might mean arranging part-time in-home care, downsizing to a smaller place in the same neighborhood, or simply checking in more often so that a bigger step can be delayed. Because at the heart of this fear is something deeply human: the desire to live life on your own terms, right to the very end. The more we honor that desire, the more peace we bring, not only to the people we love, but also to ourselves. Final thoughts. As we close this video, take a moment to reflect on these 7 fears, not as weaknesses, but as truths that so many carry quietly, day after day. They don't appear all at once. They creep in slowly over time. A small slip here, a stretch of silence there, and before you realize it, you start living more cautiously. Not because you are fragile, but because you're afraid of what might be coming next. But here's the thing: naming a fear is the first step toward loosening its grip. When you bring it into the open, you reclaim your power. You begin to make choices with clarity instead of anxiety. You start to shape the rest of your life with courage, instead of allowing fear to do the shaping for you. Which of these fears spoke to you the most? Was it the worry of losing independence, the ache of being forgotten, or the unsettling thought of slipping away mentally or physically, even while your body remains? Whatever it was, remember this: you are not alone. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are still deeply alive, still connected to what matters most, and still profoundly human in the most powerful sense. And just as these fears are real, so is your ability to face them, to prepare, to speak up, and to ask for what you need while you still can. Whether you are 60 or 90, it is never too late to begin making peace with these truths. It's never too late to build the support systems and have the meaningful conversations that will make the years ahead not just bearable, but truly fulfilling. You have come this far for a reason. You have weathered storms, adapted to decades of change, and found ways to rise again and again. You are stronger than these fears. You are more loved, more remembered, and more valuable than you may ever fully realize. Thank you for spending your time with us today. I would truly love to hear from you. Share in the comments one thing you learned from this video and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your thoughts matter, and reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement to continue. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Your support helps us create more content to inform and inspire. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe to my channel so we can continue this journey together.